Behold the tragedy of our era. He possesses the visage of a shadow monarch, yet his mind is plagued by a curse most foul. To his cursed eyes, every peerless beauty appears as a swine. Men too bear this visage, though no warrior weeps for them. I ask you, would it matter if your brethren had snouts? But imagine saving a voluptuous damsel, and as she leaps to embrace you, you see only a beast. Even the frost queen of his childhood, who turned her back the moment his talent was deemed garbage, looks like livestock. The elegance of the white-stocking queen he encountered in the spirit forest is lost to him. Even the most curvaceous instructor in the academy. He sees them all as pigs. Your heart may scream yes, but your eyes scream absolute horror. But I must ask the true cultivators watching this saga. If I handed you a paper bag to cover the face, would you still proceed? My brother Jan is hesitating. He sought a healer to cure this bizarre optical affliction. A doctor with a heart as massive as her assets welcomed him. She could not believe he viewed her as a sow, so she verified his vision once more. Our hero simply stares at her with the glazed eyes of a man who has seen the abyss. She smiles, then begins channeling an aura that would suppress a martial god. The man sweats profusely as the pressure intensifies. Yet when the attack lands, his cursed vision reveals only two gigantic circular pig faces looming over him. I ask you once more, would you commit? Would you walk the path of darkness just to uncover the truth beneath the illusion? Or is this where your cultivation journey ends, because my brother Yichuan delivered the cold, hard truth to her face? She recoiled instantly, regaining her professional demeanor to explain that he suffers from a severe spinal alignment issue. But this man is so dense he simply asks, "Can you return my spine?" The poor doctor could only lament, what a waste of potential. A handsome vessel fighting such foolish mental battles. He departs, boarding the transport and gazes at the world. The masses are packed together. Perhaps this is how emperors view the common folk. Swine crumpled into a metal tin. Is this a profound social critique? Who knows? But we have arrived at the awakening ceremony, and the female disciples are dressed for a banquet. Suddenly, a blue-haired jade beauty approaches to offer greetings. But gaze upon those trotters. Indeed. Another pig. She clings to my brother, who is drowning in confusion rather than bliss. Even as she presses his arms into a soft, double-sided embrace, the other male students burn with the fires of jealousy. At this point, if every beauty is a swine, one must learn to enjoy the feast. Better to thrive than to starve, do you understand? The elder roars forward. You unemployed masses, the ritual commences. It is time to secure a destiny. You all know the laws of this realm. We measure strength, spirit, and agility. During the ritual, pour your very soul into the artifact. Show me your talent. Now place your hand upon the awakening stone. Step forth, muscle brain. Let us witness your fate. The giant touches the stone. Flash, an intermediate life class blacksmith. You may earn coin perhaps, but judging by his expression, he looks ready to swallow his own hammer in shame. It does not look promising. The second student makes contact and collapses. He awakens as an advanced healer. A noble path indeed. The junior engineer weeps. That profession once revolutionized the continent. The final fool, orange hair, steps up with hesitation. This one reeks of potential. The artist would not grant him the hairstyle of a protagonist for no reason. He places his palm on the stone. Instantly, a rare combat profession manifests the shadowless blade. The crowd erupts in cheers. The elder asks, "Student, identify yourself." He replies, "I am Liu Jinglong." The elder grins. "A magnificent name. Rest now. I shall personally visit your clan to discuss your future cultivation." That sounds suspicious. Why visit a student's private residence? Liu Jinglong waves, unaware of the danger. Gratitude, old master. Now it is the turn of Yichuan. As our main character walks up awkwardly, Ling Xuan cheers. "Victory to you, brother Yichuan." The director observes him thinking, "This boy is eccentric, yet his base attributes are terrifyingly high. A normal youth possesses 3 combined attribute points, yet this anomaly holds 10. That is more than triple." Hope flickers in the director's eyes. The protagonist makes contact. Energy begins to expand. Lightning crackles through the hall. The students gasp in terror. The director roars. That is golden light, a legendary phenomenon. Smoke obscures the stage as the hero mutters, "What is this?" The energy signature suggests a divine tier, but the text reveals a daily profession. Divine Pigslayer. The system mocks him. Divine, it says. The elder pauses, reading the words, Pigslayer. Laughter explodes across the hall. "Impossible," they cry. "A mistake. How can a profession be divine rank yet so utterly useless? One cannot even call this luck. A high-ranking awakening wasted on livestock slaughter." The crowd jeers, and the director hangs his head. "In all my years leading this academy, never have I witnessed a divine tier awakening result in a glorious butcher of pigs." If he had truly awakened a divine class, he would be a blacksmith, healer, or alchemist. He would hold the power to reshape the very world. But as the ancient saying goes, the higher the hope, the harder the fall. I believe this child held destiny in his hands, but this awakening, it is absolute trash. Yet as the mockery begins, the world shifts for our protagonist. Something shimmers into existence before his eyes. The familiar blue screen of the system speaks, Yichuan's profession skill, Blood Moon Slayer. It deals 50% more damage to pigs, and for every swine slaughtered, this bonus climbs by 1%. Furthermore, any damage received from the swine race is reduced by half. An absolute defense against the porcelain skin, and the crown jewel, the God Slayer blade. It can designate any weapon as a pig slaughtering armament. Every kill grants 0.1 attribute, infinite growth. The protagonist stares, processing the absurdity. But one detail burns into his retina. A 50% damage bonus against pigs. Perhaps insanity is a gift. He mutters this while gazing at the audience, but he no longer sees humans. He sees a sea of snorting pigs laughing at him. He exits the stage amidst the squeals. Lu Jinglong sneers, "I thought Qingcheng Academy birthed a true dragon today, but alas, it is nothing but a lowly pig slayer. What a fool." The crowd joins the ridicule. A mentally ill profession for a mentally ill boy. Just then, Xu Lingshuan steps forward. "Ah, I must praise the artist for these magnificent low-angle shots. A true man of culture," she whispers. "It is all right, brother." "Oh, a comforting touch. You are not planning to betray my friend, are you?" She gently pats his head. "You awakened a divine pig slayer class. You are simply following your parents' legacy." The male students seethe with jealousy. Damn it. That bastard awakens a trash talent and still has the campus beauty clinging to him. A blush colors her cheeks. "My uncle will be so pleased, and your father as well." Yichuan reflects on their history. This girl has been his neighbor since childhood, a bond forged in diapers. Both sets of parents held humble lifestyle professions. They spent years scheming to keep these two destined for each other. That explains a bond deeper than anyone here understands. Suddenly, the instructor calls out, "Step forward, Lingshuan. It is your turn." "Yichuan, now I shall follow my mother, or perhaps my father. I only wish to stand by your side." Yichuan nods. "Very well, go ahead." She approaches the altar and slams her palm against the awakening stone. Boom! The entire sky erupts in azure light. A terrifying aura descends upon the arena. The girl's eyes widen and the director's jaw hits the floor. It has appeared, a legendary tier combat profession, Snow Soul of the Mortal Sword. The director is trembling in shock. A legendary combat class, impossible. Her parents possess only common talents. This is a miracle, a heaven-defying mutation. She stands tall, radiating a proud, icy aura. The director's tone shifts instantly to one of servility. "Oh, Ling Xuan. What magnificent talent. Whatever you desire, simply name it. The Academy shall provide everything you need to soar." His gaze is filled with greed as she descends, hand on her hip. The gossip mill begins to churn immediately. Now that Ling Xuan has awakened a god-tier class, will she still associate with trash like Yichuan? Her friend sneers, "I doubt it. The wisest move is to cut ties with a loser like him." Meanwhile, the protagonist is stuck in his own mental world, sarcastically congratulating the pigs around him. Suddenly, her expression turns cold. She calls out his name. "Yichuan, I admit there were misunderstandings between us in the past, but from this moment forward, let us make one thing crystal clear. We are no longer beings of the same world." The protagonist zones out as Jinglong mocks. "You lost, you idiot." Yichuan replies casually, "All right then, thanks." She clears her throat, annoyed by his lack of despair. "Yichuan, stop pretending you are fine. You are merely a pig slayer. You will never achieve greatness in this life, so do not dare to blame me for rising above you." She delivers her speech, attempting to be both cute and cruel. But to the protagonist, he sees only a squealing pig lecturing him about ambition. He does not give a damn. He turns his back, muttering, "Finally, one less pig head in my life. That is it. I am leaving." Jinglong approaches Ling Xuan, eager to please. "Shall I show him the cruel reality of our strength difference?" She remains silent, looking conflicted. A voice rings out, branding Yichuan a trash pig slayer. The protagonist ignores the noise and continues his march. The bully grabs his arm. "Are you deaf, trash?" Yichuan turns his gaze upon him, and the boy nearly wets his pants. He stumbles back in terror. For a split second, I felt like a pig about to be slaughtered. The academy bursts into laughter. As his friend asks, "What happened? Why are you shaking?" Humiliated, the bully explodes in rage. "Yichuan, you will not mess with me." He throws a desperate punch. Yichuan does not hesitate. He throws a counterpunch fist, meeting fist in a violent clash. Crack. The bully's fingers shatter. He screams in agony. The crowd is baffled. How is a combat class losing to a pig slayer? Yichuan shrugs coldly. If my destiny is to butcher pigs, then naturally my hands must be strong enough to wield the cleaver. It is only logical. The crowd mutters. That logic actually makes sense. Jinglong roars that he will kill him, unsheathing his blade. The onlookers scream in terror. He drew his sword. It is all over. He points the weapon, eyes bloodshot. I avoided drawing my void blade sharp enough to sever steel cables. But enough. Now I will end you. Suddenly the air grew cold as snowflakes drifted down, freezing him in his tracks. He turned, asking Ling Xuan why she had intervened. She couldn't bear to watch them tear each other apart any longer. With a heavy sigh, she whispered, Yuan, you must accept the harsh truth. Our paths have diverged. We no longer belong to the same world. Consider this. Rescue my final gift, severing the karma of our past. You must leave Qingchang Academy immediately. If Jinglong decides to crush you again, I will be powerless to save you. He yawned, stretching his arms with utter boredom. How tedious, he muttered, turning to leave, leaving the crowd baffled by his complete lack of fear. On the desolate walk home, his head hung low until a grotesque sight blocked his path. A woman and her dog stood there, but to his eyes they both bore the hideous heads of pigs. He spoke calmly. Miss, your beast is chewing on my trousers and blocking the road. She snapped back instantly. Do you own this street? The youth of today have zero compassion for living creatures. He sighed deeply, his eyes narrowing. Fine. I needed to test a theory anyway. With a swift motion, he kicked the dog, ending its life instantly. As the woman shrieked, the system chimed. 1 point of damage dealt. The target has ascended. Yuan smirked. The experiment was a success. The woman lunged at him, screaming hysterically. You murderer! You slaughtered my baby! Just as her claws reached him, his expression went cold. I am a diagnosed psychopath, he lied smoothly. My mental stability is non-existent. She froze, trembling in terror. Forget it was just a dog. There are plenty of beasts in the wild. Goodbye. She fled for her life, leaving Yichuan to continue his journey home. His father looked him over and asked, So you have awakened as the legendary? Pigslayer Yichuan nodded. The father burst into laughter. Truly, you follow in my footsteps. We are an honest, humble family. This life is far better than the bloodshed of warriors. Fighting leads only to an early grave. Soon I shall take you to the slaughterhouse to pass on the family arts. Yichuan's eyes lit up. If he could keep slaying pigs, his level would skyrocket. It was clearly the destiny the author intended. Night fell and the protagonist drifted to sleep, looking harmless in his adorable pig-themed pajamas. But while the innocent pig slept, a menacing shadow emerged from the darkness. It was his father standing guard at the door. You know my son is merely a butcher, he growled into the void. Do not disturb our peace. A shadowy figure in a hat materialized. I never guessed the son of the ghost cry would be a simple commoner. Tell me, Kwai. Is he truly your blood? The father rose, his aura flaring as he warned, Interfere again and I will forget my manners. The figure vanished into the mist, whispering, If he is just a butcher, the organization will spare him. The very next morning, they arrived at the training grounds, the local slaughterhouse. Stepping through the heavy curtains, the father instructed, A master butcher is one with his blade. Choose the weapon that speaks to your soul. Yichuan gripped a handle. This one calls to me. The system chimed pig-killing blade selected. Bonus 0.1. Attributes per kill. His father nodded solemnly. The first step on the path of the butcher is mastering the strike. The pig thrashed, squealing in panic. The father pointed to its neck. Target the vital point. End it. The goal was perfection, a single, clean slaughter. Yichuan delivered a deep slash, and the life faded from the beast's eyes. System alert: normal pig eliminated. Level increased by 1%. Damage against pigs increased by 1%. Attributes increased by 0.1. The father praised him, but a bead of nervous sweat rolled down his face. Not bad though, your precision lacks finesse. I expected a one-hit kill, but you needed a second motion. He explained the anatomy, showing where the carotid artery lay for an instant death. The protagonist simply replied, Understood. The father patted his shoulder. Son, I know this trade seems dull for a young man, but this blade is what puts food on our table. But Yichuan wasn't listening to the lecture. He was staring at the pen with the hungry eyes of a predator ready to farm experience points. The father laughed heartily. My boy, do you wish to handle your uncle's quota as well? They would be thrilled. Another slash, more experience. Another kill, more attributes. The blade danced, and before long the kid had cleared an entire row of the warehouse. The system notifications flooded in. 100% extra damage achieved. Attributes surged from 10 to 15. A worker whispered, Hey boss, is that monster your son? The kid looked addicted to the slaughter. He had finished a week's worth of labor in minutes. Isn't he enjoying this a little too much? The father laughed nervously. You don't understand. He is a prodigy of the blade. Yichuan felt the power coursing through him. He had mastered the pig slayer blade. The slaughterhouse was too small. It was time to face the real world. The next day, he geared up. The world outside was infested with monsters, hideous abominations roaming free. Humanity had dissolved its borders, uniting into vast federations across 9 distinct districts. Qing sat on the perilous edge of District 5. This boundary marked the end of safety and the beginning of the chaos. It felt like stepping into a new world. As he approached the gate, a knight blocked his path. "Halt, kid. Your class is a lifestyle profession. If you step outside these walls, you will perish." Yichuan didn't even glance at him, walking past the guard and disappearing into the dense forest. As he moved through the trees, the bushes trembled violently. A hideous goblin leaped out, sporting a grotesque pig nose. To Yichuan, every monster in this world wore the face of a pig. But judging by the green skin, this prey was likely a goblin. First, he activates the terrifying aura of his Pig Slayer title to suppress the target. But it seems the fear effect only works on actual swine. Still, the goblin trembles and a single slash severs its neck. Another beast falls and 5% experience is secured. A realization strikes him like lightning. He can treat every monster in this world as livestock to be butchered. Suddenly, a memory surfaces. His teacher's warning echoes in his mind. If you spot a single goblin, never lower your guard. Where there is one, a horde follows. And just like that, the trap springs. Surrounded by a sea of green skin, he decides it is time for a power-leveling feast. The goblins shriek and charge, but his blade dances, harvesting heads like wheat in a field. The final survivor shakes uncontrollably as Yichuan looms over it. A twisted grin spreads across his face. "Don't be shy, little one. The real party is just getting started." The creature turns to flee, leading Yichuan straight to the goblin's lair. He steps into the darkness, his expression shifting into that of a merciless predator. Screams of agony echo against the cave walls until silence falls. A massacre that would make even the legendary Goblin Slayer envious. Yichuan checks his status. His attributes have skyrocketed to 25. For context, a normal human only possesses 3 points total. He is becoming a monster in human skin. But as he admires his stats, his senses flare. Something is behind him. He spins around and kicks open a wooden door with explosive force. Inside, a woman lies bound and helpless, frozen in terror. A goblin lurks nearby, chanting filth about breeding. Despair washes over her as she screams for salvation. Yichuan raises his cleaver, the blade glinting in the dim light. He swings. The goblin's head flies, and the ropes are severed in the same motion. The scene is chaotic, but he simply crouches down, his voice cold. "Quit your screaming. The trash is dead, you idiot." Reality sinks in. The monsters are gone. She throws herself at him, clinging to his arm and sobbing her thanks. Yichuan frowns and asks, "Who exactly are you?" "Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't come here to play hero." They navigate the dark corridors, and she stares at the carnage. Did you slaughter this entire nest alone? Your combat class must be legendary. What is your name?" Yichuan ignores the praise, continuing his march. "I am Yichuan." They finally emerge from the cave into the fresh air. He points a finger toward the horizon. "Walk that way and you'll hit the city." He heads into the forest, but she sticks to him like a shadow. He stops abruptly and glares. "Why are you tailing me? Were you acting as a spy for the goblins?" She looks at him in disbelief. "What kind of twisted logic is that?" "Of course not. I am just terrified to walk alone," Yichuan sighs. "Fine. Then speak. What is your name?" It is clear his mind works on a different wavelength than normal humans. She answers, "My name is Xianan." She explains her plight. Her mother's birthday is approaching, and she sought the rare blood moon flower as a gift. Instead, she walked straight into a goblin ambush. She proposes a trade. "Help me secure the flower, and I will hire the Grandmaster Blacksmith of Qinsheng." She points at his weapon. "He will forge you a new blade to replace that scrap metal." Yichuan scoffs, turning his back. "You have no clue how much a real knife costs. Stop lying to me. I'm leaving. Follow me again, and I might just cut you." Fury flares within her. She is a peerless beauty. She cannot believe this brat is treating her with such icy disdain. She mutters to herself, "This guy." There is definitely something broken inside his head. Refusing to give up, she chases after him. "You clearly don't know my background. My father is Xia Bahai." Yichuan freezes in his tracks. The gears in his brain begin to turn. The Xia family, one of the 4 great noble houses of Qingqing. And Xia Bahai is a rank 9 grandmaster, a being half-step into divinity. He turns slowly. "Are you serious? If that monster is truly her father, then money is merely a concept to them. A top-tier weapon would be pocket change." She reveals a shimmering family amulet. "This barrier protected me. That is the only reason the goblins captured me instead of killing me instantly." Yi Chuan steps into her personal space, inspecting the artifact with greedy intensity. Then he steps back. Deal. I will find your flower, but you owe me a supreme-grade knife. A beaming smile returns to her face. She produces a map she purchased from a merchant. She traces the path to the blood moon flower. It grows near the lair of a catastrophic beast, the giant python. Yi Chuan's eyes light up. A giant python. Does such a big snake actually exist? She nods gravely. Yes. Even a 9th-rank apprentice could not handle it. Yi Chuan grins, clutching his hilt. Excellent. I've always wanted to see a snake that big. Nan stares at him. Is he even listening to the danger? But then again, he just soloed an entire goblin dungeon. Perhaps his hidden class is something monstrous. Yi Chuan signals her to move. Lead the way. Nan feels a strange conflict. This man feels incredibly reliable, yet simultaneously completely unhinged. That is the perfect summary of his existence. Hidden in the dense undergrowth, she grabs his arm. Wait, that is a horned rhinoceros. Do not provoke it. If that thing enrages, its power rivals an 8th-rank apprentice. She whispers to retreat. But Yi Chuan is already standing up. Her eyes widen. What are you doing? That monster is a herbivore. It won't attack us, Yi Chuan. He draws his rusted blade, his logic defying all reason. Sure, it eats grass today, but who says it won't crave human flesh tomorrow? She is dumbfounded. That makes absolutely zero sense. But before she can protest, he charges straight at the beast. The cleaver flashes in a blur of motion. Head, neck, belly. A lethal combo executed in a split second. The massive beast collapses, blood spraying like a fountain. Nan trembles. Is it dead? A system notification chimes in his mind. Damage bonus has hit 122% one. But Yi Chuan frowns. His trusty knife is chipping away. Durability is critical. She asks, voice shaking Yi Chuan. What exactly is your profession? He wipes the blood from his face. Nothing special. Just a humble daily job. I am a butcher. Her jaw drops. Impossible. No butcher possesses the power to one-shot a monster like that. Yi Chuan ignores her shock, carving off the valuable horn. Nah. The beast was just old and frail, that's why it died so easily. She nods, slowly but internally, she is screaming. Right. Let's just find the flower. She thinks. This kid is definitely crazy. They push deeper into the forest. But fate has another twist in store. Ahead, they cross paths with director Lin Guan and Lu Jinglong. The director beamed with pride, addressing the students. Excellent work today. You are the future of our academy. But Jinglong ignored the speech, his eyes glued to Lin Guan like a love-struck puppy. Suddenly the director's expression sharpened. Hold on. Someone is approaching. From the shadows of the forest stepped Yuan and Nan. Jinglong immediately stepped forward, barking, What are you doing here, trash? Yuan shrugged casually, replying he was just taking a stroll. Jinglong scoffed. Walking. In a monster-infested forest, do you take me for a fool? A female student sneered, her voice dripping with venom. Please. It is obvious. He could not get over senior sister Lin Guan, so he came to stalk her like a creep. Yuan did not even flinch at the insult. But then he saw Lin Guan staring at him with pure disgust. I thought I made it clear, she said coldly. We belong to different worlds. Stop following me, you pest. Jinglong stepped in, puffing out his chest. You have some nerve showing your face here again. Asterisk. Xing times. He drew his weapon, the steel humming with power. Now you will regret being born, the crowd gasped. Heavens, is that a yellow-ranked spiritual blade? The director nodded in approval. Indeed. To wield such a treasure at the 4th-rank apprentice level, Jinglong is truly a prodigy. This boy has a bright future. Meanwhile, Ling Xuan stood with her hand on her hip, cold as ice. Let him learn his lesson. I won't save him this time, Nan Nan whispered, confused. Why is everyone so hostile toward you? Yuan ignored the malice completely. His eyes were on the shiny sword. Hey, how much is that toy worth? Nan Nan blinked. A spiritual weapon. Easily over 100,000 coins. But you should focus on surviving right now. Jinglong's face twisted in fury. Last time you stole my spotlight, you peasant, but today you bleed. He lunged Yuan, calmly raised his small butchering knife to block. Asterisk. Crack times. The director's jaw dropped as Jinglong roared witness real power and shattered Yuan's blade. Jinglong threw his head back and laughed. See that? Did you think your pig slayer profession could stand against me? The director shook his head. Foolish. A common blade cannot withstand spiritual steel. Yuan never should have provoked him. He considered stepping in to save the boy's life. But Yuan just tossed the broken hilt aside. You know what? I do not need a weapon to deal with trash like you. Daijing Long snapped and charged again, aura flaring. Yuan simply stepped in and delivered a single devastating punch to the gut. Asterisk. Bam times. Jinglong went flying. He crashed to the ground, gasping for air as his lackeys rushed over. I am fine, he wheezed, thinking times. Impossible. How am I nearly passing out from one punch asterisk? The director was trembling. Yuan. Have you already reached apprentice level 7? Yuan ignored him casually, picking up the fallen spiritual blade. Nice balance. This looks good. The students whispered in disbelief. Level 7, no way. Even the legendary talent Lingguan isn't that strong yet. The director quickly found an excuse. Calm down, it is possible. Life professions and combat professions level very differently. Combat classes need hard training in real battles, so growth is slow at first but explodes later. Life professions level up by repeating simple tasks like forging or slaughtering. Yuan probably just killed pigs day and night to farm experience. Lingguan stomped her foot, complaining. So he is just relying on base stats. That is completely unfair. Patience, the director soothed. His growth will hit a wall soon. The experience cost doubles every level. He has peaked, while you will all surpass him effortlessly. A student smirked. So you are saying the guy who beat Jinglong today is actually a future loser? Precisely, the director nodded sagely. Yuan just nodded along, looking bored. Yeah, you are right. Thanks for the advice. I am leaving now. Stop right there, Ling Xuan screeched. Do you think killing pigs makes you special? I have been accepted into the Sky Dome Academy. She kept rambling about her prestige, but Yuan stood there with a deadpan expression, looking completely exhausted with her nonsense. Enough, Nan Nan stepped forward, radiating authority. I cannot watch this anymore. Yuan is helping me find the Blood Moon Flower. Meeting you people was pure bad luck. The girls giggled maliciously. Oh look. Another girl falling for the pig slayer now that Lingguan dumped him. One joked, maybe his real talent is seducing women times smack, times Nan Nan's hand moved like lightning, slapping the gossipers, and accidentally catching the director too. The director rubbed his cheek, bewildered. Why did I get slapped? I did not even say anything, Yuan thought times. Wow, this girl is crazy too, asterisk. Ling Xuan's eyes blazed with rage. You dare hit us, do you know who I am? She moved to attack, threatening to ruin her. Nan Nan calmly pulled out a golden crest. I am waiting. Touch me and see what happens. The director saw the crest and froze in terror. Wait, do not move. He realized the truth instantly. Asterisk. That crest. She is from the Xia family times, he bowed, sweating profusely. Miss Xia. What brings a noble to this forest? Nanan glared. It does not matter. I go where I please. But honestly, your academy students are clearly below standard. The director bowed lower, terrified. I agree, I promise to review our admissions and discipline everyone immediately. Make Ling Xuan apologize to Yuan, she commanded. Ling Xuan gasped, stunned. What? Why is a Xia family girl siding with him? The injustice burned her pride. Seeing her ex-boyfriend succeed hurt more than anything. The director barked Lingguan. Apologize to the boy now. He expected a tantrum, but she just turned her face away, gritting her teeth. Sorry, Yuan. However, out of the corner of her eye, a cold light shimmered. She was clearly plotting revenge. The Xia family would just have to wait and see. Yuan shrugged, indifferent. Whatever. He checked the time. Yeah, I really need to go or I will miss the bus. Suddenly, Jinglong shouted from the ground. Hey, you thief, you are taking my spiritual saber. Yichuan sauntered away the stolen saber, resting on his shoulder with an air of absolute arrogance, acting as if it had belonged to him all along. It was a robbery committed in broad daylight. He tossed back a cold challenge. If you want it back, try taking it from my hands. As he walked off, Jinglong's roar of vengeance echoed behind him. The scenery shifted into the brooding depths of the wilderness. Nanan unfurled a spiritual map, her voice trembling slightly. They were entering the domain of the Great Python. One wrong step meant death. Since Yichuan had swapped weapons, the system instantly recognized the new saber. It was now designated as his primary Slayer blade. With this upgrade, his attribute gain per kill jumped to 0.2. Just then, Nanan revealed several glowing orbs pulsating with dangerous energy. Yichuan raised an eyebrow. What are those? She blushed, clutching the treasures. Fire lightning pearls. Even a cultivator in the high realm would suffer catastrophic damage if struck by one of these. Yichuan simply nodded. Understood. In a blur of motion, he leaped across the ravine and spotted his prize. Not just one, but a cluster of rare spiritual herbs. But suddenly, the air grew heavy. A primitive instinct screamed at him. He turned slowly to find a massive shadow looming over him. The pig-headed python had arrived. Most would panic, but Yichuan remained terrifyingly calm. Easy there, big guy. Just borrowing a flower. No need for violence. The beast actually hesitated. Yichuan began to inch backward, keeping eye contact. Thanks for understanding. I will be going now. Farewell. He glanced at Nanan. Bad move. Panic seized her. She hurled a fire lightning pearl. The explosion engulfed the python's head, sending Yichuan flying in the blast wave. The beast was scorched but alive, slipping over the cliff edge in the chaos. Dusting himself off, Yichuan held out the pristine herb. Here. This is for you. Her eyes sparkled with pure delight. A blood crystal flower. Thank you, she explained its legendary properties, a supreme treasure that could drastically slow the aging process. If she could obtain a twin crystal flower, it would not just slow time. It would grant the user true eternal youth. A thought struck Yichuan. His mother would love something like that. Without hesitation, he leaped back across the gap. Nanan watched him, heart fluttering, convinced he was risking his life for her sake. She smiled, certain her charms had finally worked. But Yichuan was busy stuffing his bag with loot. Suddenly, a deafening roar shook the earth. The python was back. Nanan went pale. How could it survive that blast? From a distance, Yichuan bellowed, "Don't just stand there. Throw another pearl." "I can't," she screamed. "My father only gave me 2. I am out." The serpent lunged, closing the distance. Yichuan's expression shifted from annoyance to cold calculation. He activated his innate skill, Butcher's Threat. In his eyes, the terrifying monster was no longer a predator. It was just a slab of meat on a chopping block. Yichuan snatched Nanan and sprinted. "Run," she cried out. "Why risk your life for a flower? It is not worth it." "It is to me," he replied grimly. "This one is for my mother." The python's maw opened wide, blocking out the sky. Nanan screamed, realizing there was nowhere left to run. Yichuan hurled her to safety like a sack of grain, just as the jaws snapped shut. Darkness swallowed him. She screamed his name in despair until a blade of light sliced through the beast from the inside out. The massive head severed cleanly, crashing to the ground. Yichuan stepped forth from the carcass, drenched in beast blood, looking like a demon god of war. Nanan rushed over, sobbing with relief and throwing her arms around him only to immediately gag. "You smell terrible." Yichuan ignored the complaint completely. His kill bonus skyrocketed. The system awarded him 80% of the experience. He instantly hit apprentice rank 8 and was already surging toward rank 9. Later at the city gates, a crowd had gathered. Nanan's family rushed forward, faces pale with worry. "You foolish girl, you scared us half to death." Nanan beamed, presenting the prize. "Look, it is for mother." Her father sighed, exasperated. "Child, we have servants for this. You never needed to leave the safety of the walls." As she stammered an explanation, Yichuan stepped forward. Her father narrowed his eyes. "And who is this?" Yichuan spoke plainly. "I am Yichuan. Profession pigslayer." The nobleman looked baffled. The flower grew in the python's den. Why did his daughter bring a lowly butcher? Did he fight? The father wondered. Impossible. A butcher fighting a spirit beast. It made absolutely no sense. Still, etiquette demanded a reward. "Take this ring. It is worth 200,000 gold." Yichuan pushed the jewelry back without a second glance. "Keep the money. I want you to forge me a butcher knife." The nobleman was floored. "He rejects a fortune for a kitchen tool." Nanan quickly interjected. "Father, he means a spiritual weapon. He wants the best blacksmith to forge a supreme blade." "Very well," the father agreed. He ushered his daughter away. She glanced back at Yichuan's cheeks, flushing pink, and whispered a shy goodbye. The father turned, voice dropping to a warning growl. "Boy, do not get any improper ideas about my daughter." Yichuan didn't blink. To him, she was just another customer. He could not care less. "I only want the weapon," Yichuan stated flatly. The nobleman nodded, satisfied. "There is a master blacksmith in the city who owes us a favor. You will get your blade." Meanwhile, back in the blood-soaked forest, a shadowy figure approached the carcass of the great python. A demonic woman materialized, her face twisted in fury. "Who dared?" she hissed. "Someone killed my spirit pet and plundered my herbs." She inhaled deeply, memorizing Yichuan's lingering scent. "You will not escape me." Back in the city, unaware of the danger, Yichuan walked into a materials shop. "I have materials to sell," he announced. The clerk scoffed, eyeing the scrawny youth. "How did a kid like you get a horn?" "Fine, I will give you 10,000 coins." Yichuan did the math. Killing a pig gets him 100. This is worth 100 pigs. Deal. His eyes then drifted to a magnificent suit of armor on display. The clerk smirked. "Good eye. That is fire serpent scale armor. Incredible defense, resistant to heat and cold. But the price is 150,000. Yichuan froze. 150,000? How many lifetimes of pig slaughtering would that take? The clerk looked at his dumbfounded expression. "Kid, you are mumbling about pigs. Are you buying or dreaming?" Yichuan's eyes narrowed. He slammed the stolen spiritual saber onto the counter. "I will trade this blade for the armor." Straight swap. The clerk jumped back, eyes bulging at the high-tier weapon. Her attitude flipped instantly. My dear boy, what a perfect deal. Let me help you put it on right now, no extra charge. This armor fits like a second skin, truly magnificent. But her inner voice whispered greedily times jackpot. This kid is walking money. Asterisk. Asterisk. If I hook him now, I'm set for life. Asterisk. She leaned in, fussing over his collar with a sultry smile. A premium service like this is usually 10,000 gold, but for a handsome young master like you, I will make an exception. Back off, you harp, he retorted, cold as ice. Undeterred, she purred. What grand profession does such a talent hold? He met her gaze dead on. Pig slayer. The air left the room. Her smile cracked like cheap porcelain. That. Surely that is not a combat class. The scene shifts to the warmth of the humble household. Mother, I have returned. This is for you. Her eyes went wide. My son, this is a blood crystal flower. Yechuan, tell me the truth. Did you resort to thievery on the streets? He scratched his head, feigning innocence. No, Mom. I simply ventured outside the city walls. A massive serpent was already dead there, so I just picked the flower and walked back. She let out a relieved laugh, chiding him. The wilds are a death trap. We are simple butchers. If calamity strikes, how could we possibly survive? She grabbed his shoulders, urging him to remember their humble station and never court death again. I understand, he promised. His father beamed with pride. That is my boy, but peace is fragile. A roar shattered the silence. Someone was demanding, Kiwan, step out this instant. Kiwan rushed to the door. Who dares? It was Jinglong's father. He pointed a trembling finger, accusing Ye Chuan of stealing his son's spiritual saber. Kiwan was baffled. Brother Liu, surely there is a grave misunderstanding. Years ago, they were brothers in arms, but time and status had severed that bond. Now, Liu stood high above them in influence. My son is a simple butcher, Kiwan pleaded. How could he possibly steal from a warrior like Jinglong? But Jinglong screamed like a petulant child. He took it. He stole my weapon. Liu's eyes turned cold. Do not insult my intelligence, Kiwan. You raised a thief. He claimed the academy director had already confirmed the crime and demanded Kiwan question his own son. Ye Chuan, Kiwan asked, voice shaking, what is going on? The boy shrugged. That guy tried to murder me with the blade. Taking it was an act of mercy. Liar Jinglong shrieked, his face twisting. We were just sparring, then he suddenly snatched it. Liu demanded respect and the immediate return of the blade. Ye Chuan looked them dead in the eye. Too late. I already sold it. Silence descended like a heavy curtain. Kiwan panicked. Son, what have you done? Liu exploded with fury, demanding 1 million in compensation. 1 million, Kiwan argued, desperate. A low-grade spiritual weapon is worth 200,000 at best, Liu sneered. I am not here to bargain with trash. Ye Chuan stepped forward, spiritual energy flaring, ready to brawl. But Kiwan held him back, bowing his head. We will pay. Just give us time. Teach your brat some manners, Liu spat, giving them half a month before destruction would rain down. As they left, Jinglong cast one last venomous glare. Inside, the atmosphere was suffocating. Mother suggested begging for mercy. Father planned to offer their finest pork as an apology. Ye Chuan stepped up, eyes burning with resolve. Do not worry. I will handle this. His father shook his head. It is not your burden to bear. Just stay out of trouble and keep no secrets. But Ye Chuan's mind was elsewhere, focused only on strength and obtaining a spiritual weapon. Clearly, his brain was wired differently. Is there anything else you are hiding? His mother asked. How did a butcher obtain such a treasure? Ye Chuan sighed. I cannot hide it forever. Mentally, I am not normal. The parents exchanged glances. Son, his mother asked gently, do you not like women? We are open-minded, she cried, grabbing his hands. We support you no matter what. His father nodded aggressively. Asterisk. This family is completely unhinged. Asterisk. No, Ye Chuan shouted. I like women. But mentally, my perception is skewed. He explained the bizarre truth. Everyone I see, they look like pigs. His parents stared, and suddenly even they appeared as swine in his vision. Kiwan froze, realization striking like lightning. If you see all creation as pigs, then your butchery talents. Ye Chuan nodded. They apply to everything. Mother gasped. That means he possesses a hidden combat profession. It makes perfect sense, Kiwan roared with sudden energy. Come with me, Kiwan commanded. It is time to learn the true techniques. The scene shifts to the dark embrace of the forest. For countless years I have slaughtered pigs, refining my art, Kiwan spoke, aura shifting. Tonight I pass this legacy to you. If an enemy comes for your life, you must be the one left standing. Ye Chuan asked. Why teach me now after I caused this debt? Kiwan looked at him solemnly. Because 1 million gold is nothing compared to my son's safety. The Tao is simple, he explained. Even for a butcher. Watch closely. I will only demonstrate 3 cuts. Kiwan focused. He raised the rusty blade. 1 slash, and the very mountains split apart. Moonlight poured through the tear in space itself. Ye Chuan's jaw dropped. Asterisk. My old man is a monster times. The first cut, Kiwan announced. Falling stars. He leapt into the heavens, slashing horizontally. The sky screamed as he tore through the lunar light. Falling moon. How is that even possible? Ye Chuan stammered. Simple spatial distortion, his father shrugged as if discussing the weather. Then the finale. An upward slash that erupted like a volcano, setting the night sky ablaze. The third cut. Devourer of suns. Ye Chuan trembled. You use this to kill pigs. Are they celestial pigs? You do not need to understand yet, Kiwan said enigmatically. You will learn in time. Ye Chuan realized his destiny had changed forever. Then his father turned eyes gleaming. Now, where is your knife, kid? If you lack a proper weapon, wield mine for now. The protagonist grips the handle, but gravity betrays him. The weight is astronomical, and even with his boosted stats, he is instantly flattened against the earth. The father turns his back, dismissing the struggle. Get to work, brat. Practice hard. I am returning to my slumber. Shock paralyzes the boy as he stares at the weapon. Heavens! My old man slaughters pigs with this monster. Gritting his teeth, he heaves the blade upward. Attempting the first technique, the star move. Boom, he collapses like a puppet with cut strings. A complete failure. Yet he persists, while his father watches through narrowed eyes, muttering, "Foolish child. One day, when you ascend to the emperor rank, you will understand." These 3 strikes hold the power to slaughter even celestial beings. The training intensifies in the next chapter. The boy launches the dagger skyward. Mooncut. The technique flares, but his energy hits 0, sending him crashing down in exhaustion. But the burning memory of Liu threatening his father ignites a fire in his soul. He forces his broken body to rise. Falling stars. This time, the energy flows true. The earth shatters beneath the impact. Birds scatter in terror as he surveys the devastation with a satisfied grin. He has finally mastered the new skill, falling stars. The scene shifts to the sterility of the hospital. The protagonist lies comatose while his mother pleads, "Doctor, tell me, is my son all right?" Dr. Piglet adjusts his glasses. He is stable, merely collapsed from extreme exhaustion. It seems he has been training like a madman. Fury erupts from the mother, "That cursed Quan. He drove my boy until he collapsed." Her aura darkens. "Just wait until I get home. He will pay." She notices the nurse blushing furiously. The doctor explains, "His lactic acid levels are absurd. He must have done 1,000 squats, 1,000 push-ups, and ran nearly 100 kilometers. The mother blinks in confusion. That is absolute nonsense. No human being could survive that in a single night. The doctor sighs, admitting, "It defies logic, but Yi Chuan's mental constitution is simply inhuman." The mother storms out, radiating murder intent towards her husband. The doctor shudders, thinking, any normal person would have died 3 times over from that exertion. She jokes that it would take an all-night duel to recover, but when they look back, the bed is empty, the boy has vanished. Yuan is already on the move outside. I really burned through my reserves. That technique is dangerous. He focuses on his objective. I need to retrieve that custom blade from Zhao. Elsewhere in the city, he arrives at the legendary Steel Heart Forge. The bearded pigman Master Tyson squints in confusion. Are you truly Yi Chuan? Yi Chuan nods silently. Tyson sighs. Very well. Master Xiao briefed me on the situation. I toiled all night to forge this masterpiece. Yet you are merely a pig butcher. I never imagined the Xia family would spend a fortune on the likes of you. Are you perhaps their illegitimate child? Yuan reaches for the weapon, but Tyson blocks him. Hold your horses, boy. Be patient. This blade was forged from 1,000-year cold steel. It took 49 days of ritual preparation. Listen closely, this weapon chooses its master. If your spirit is weak, you will not even lift it from the pedestal. Yi Chuan ignores the speech. He grips the hilt and rips it free. Tyson is thunderstruck. Yi Chuan inspects the gleaming steel. Wow. This feels like a feather compared to my old man's blade. Tyson's jaw hits the floor. How is he wielding it with such ease? Yi Chuan asks. Does it have a name? The smith shakes his head. Not yet. You must christen it. Yi Chuan thinks for a moment. Dragon Slayer. Tyson bursts into laughter. That is the most cliché name in existence. 1,000,000 rookies use that title. Yi Chuan ignores the mockery, already walking away. He is eager to test the edge. He must escape the amateur rank quickly to deal with the threat of Lu Xing. At the city gates, terrified citizens whisper rumors. Powerful beasts are everywhere. Taking 10 steps outside is a death sentence. Hearing this, Yuan's eyes shine with predatory excitement. Excellent targets. Inside the forest, his instincts flare. He is being watched. Swoosh, a dagger flies from the shadows, but he sidesteps with casual grace. He turns to see a group of third-rate bandits. Ninth-rank apprentices. Trash. One bandit screams, "Are you insane? You dodged my phantom strike." The fat one sneers. Lu Xing was right about this kid. This fool dared to leave the city. He must have a death wish. They were assassins sent by Jinglong's father. Yichuan grips his hilt, and the system awakens. With this new blade, he gains 0.3 attributes per kill. A cruel smile spreads across his face. So, who wants to be the first to meet Dragon Slayer? They ask for the weapon's name. When he answers, they howl with laughter. Dragon Slayer, who do you think you are, a legendary hero from the myths? They are laughing at their own executioner. Yichuan laughs even harder, a chilling sound. No, gentlemen, I am no hero. I am just a humble butcher. Testing a new knife. Before the bandit can blink, Yichuan vanishes and slices his throat. System alert, you killed a pig, gained 1% damage and 0.3 attributes. The others freeze in horror. Did he just kill him instantly? Yichuan dances away, then snaps back like a rubber band. Stab. Another body falls. More experience points. The last bandit tries to flee, but his eyes cannot track the speed. He is skilled at evasion, but against absolute power, skill is useless. The blade leaves Yichuan's hand flying like a guided missile. Impact. It pierces him clean through. Brutal. More attributes flood his body. Yichuan retrieves his blade. Sadly, you chose the path of death. Now for the honest looting. An unexpected drop, a shadow step scroll, increasing agility by 30% for 30 seconds. Beginner trash, but free loot is free loot. Heavy footsteps approach. He vaults into the canopy. Below, a grotesque, many-eyed abomination emerges, feasting on the bandit corpses. Yichuan smiles from the branches. These monsters are amusing, however they have a taste for human flesh. He cannot allow it to exist. Skill-activated shadow step. He leaps from branch to branch, diving like a hawk. The beast senses his killing intent and unleashes a volley of spikes from its spine. The spikes pierce his flesh, but he ignores the pain. He crashes down, slicing the beast cleanly in two. Looking like a human pincushion, he grins. Thanks for the free acupuncture. The creatures around him froze, staring in bewilderment. He mirrored their stance, crouching low, eyes narrowing in confusion just like them. Sensing their fear, he advanced like a predator. One glare sent them scattering. He cut down the first, and when the last one froze in terror, his blade claimed it too. He resumed his harvest body, bristling with spikes like a beast of war. He barely flinched, muttering that it was merely a scratch. The barrier to the next realm was agonizingly close, 70% more experience needed. He marched onward only to be stopped by a catastrophic force, a golden-horned beast tearing through the forest. The beast charged with earth-shattering momentum. Yet the protagonist drifted past like smoke, sliding his blade effortlessly through its maw, severing its life force in a single strike. However, as he turned to claim his prize, a shadow moved. Something was dragging the massive carcass into the darkness. His eyes went cold. Who dares steal my loot? Seeing the beast pulled toward a cavern, he plunged into the abyss without a second thought. The cave was a tomb lined with cocooned victims hanging like grotesque ornaments. And deep within the gloom, the dungeon boss fixed its gaze upon him. A lethal strike aimed for his throat, but his instincts were faster. He parried the death blow without even glancing up. Finally facing his opponent, he beheld a giant spider with legs of solid gold. His eyes sparkled not with fear but greed. If golden armor was expensive, these legs were a king's ransom. The monster unleashed a flurry of attacks. He defended clumsily until snap. A thick web bound his chest, sealing his movements instantly. Then agony. Venom pierced his leg, sending his consciousness into the void. The system rang out. You have been poisoned by the Tarantula Emperor. Warning, neural damage critical. Entering frenzy state. His sanity snapped. Green saliva dripped from his jaws as the beast within took control. With a roar, he tore the unbreakable webbing like paper. The spider froze, unable to comprehend the monstrous strength exploding from this human. Yuan launched himself forward, smashing through the golden legs with savage fury, foam flying from his lips. Terror gripped the spider. The hunter had become the hunted. Desperate, the creature scrambled for the exit. But Yuan grabbed its own web, yanking the behemoth back into his slaughterhouse. He dragged it close and cleaved it in two. As the boss perished, his frenzy faded, and he collapsed into the silence of the cave. A torrent of experience flooded his body. He broke through to the Dangu realm. Strength, agility, spirit, everything increased by 100. His power had effectively tripled. Sometime later, he sat grilling spider legs over a fire, utterly bewildered. Why does my body feel like lead? He had ascended ranks and woken up next to a corpse. None of it made sense. But as he feasted, a seductive voice drifted through the air. My, look how much you have grown. You were a scrawny thing before, but now. She pressed against him, inhaling deeply. You smell delicious. Mind if I take a bite? But our boy Yuan was built differently. He ignored the beauty entirely, turning his back on her while she stared in disbelief. Any man who meets my gaze belongs to me, she thought, smirking. Now become a good boy and serve your new mistress. Little did she know she was trying to charm a lunatic. He scoffed. You want food? Go hunt. There is not even enough for me. She stood frozen. Why was her charm failing? And why was he looking at her like she was some pig-headed monstrosity with a snake for an arm? What a grotesque combination. Yi Chuan tilted his head, genuinely puzzled, wondering why this pig girl had horns growing from such a weird head. She forced a smile, hiding her annoyance. It is fine. You do not have to share, but I want to ask you something. He answered with his mouth stuffed full. What say it, he grunted. She narrowed her eyes. Have you by any chance seen a certain crystal twin flower in this vicinity? I have been cultivating that treasure for decades, yet my guardian beast was slaughtered. She leaned in, voice dripping with venom. Do you know who did it? You bastard, she hissed. Yuan tapped his chest, realizing, wait, that was definitely me. She loomed over him, a crimson vision of seduction and danger. She scrutinized his every micro-expression. He lied instantly. No, I hate hunting. It is boring. A bold claim for a man currently eating fresh kill. Actually, he improvised that flower was stolen by a famous and despicable human named Lu Xing. He is the one who murdered your guardian. I even scolded him, asking, how could you slay such a cute little snake? But he would not listen. She smiled sweetly. Fine, then I will go find him. She turned to leave, then spun around, eyes blazing. Do you take me for a fool? She had recognized his scent the moment she arrived. The culprit was right in front of her. Yi Chuan sighed. If you knew, why ask? You practically forced me to lie. She gaped at him. Why are you acting like the victim here? Her patience evaporated. A terrifying aura exploded from her body, but the protagonist stood tall, unfazed by the pressure. Return my flower or I will crush your throat, she threatened. In response, Yi Chuan unleashed the blood moon killing aura. In a split second, a horrific vision consumed her mind. She saw herself bound helpless, a blade descending to end her life. She trembled, paralyzed by the killing intent. By the time she blinked, he was gone, leaving a single spider leg as payment. Roaring in fury, she shot after him like a cannonball. Yi Chuan gritted his teeth. I better run, or I will have to use that time's forbidden technique if she keeps chasing. Suddenly, a monstrosity, part monkey, part boar, burst from the tree line, aiming a massive palm strike at Yi Chuan. He dodged, cursing the interruption. But the girl did not slow down. She ordered the beast to move, spun past it like a dancer, slashed its throat, and drove her hand into its skull in one fluid motion. The beast did not even have time to scream. It collapsed, drooling into the dirt, dead on arrival. She glanced to the side, expecting him to be fleeing. Instead, Yi Chuan was waiting there, blade drawn, ready for war. Her eyes widened in horror as she recognized the stance. She threw her arm up, desperately casting the falling star defense. Cold sweat drenched her back. This was impossible. That ancient art should be extinct. Perhaps he was bluffing, but fear gripped her heart. If he truly possessed that technique, she was already dead. Suddenly, a desperate cry echoed for Uncle Qian. A group burst from the forest edge, shouting that chaos was erupting ahead. Yi Chuan and the serpent mistress sensed the shift immediately. A wave of healers was approaching. 2 targets to kill, and 1 to capture alive. The serpent mistress hissed, her eyes narrowing. I never expected you to have reinforcements. You baited me into a trap. I will remember this humiliation. She took flight, secretly relieved to have an excuse to escape that terrifying technique. Yi Chuan stood there thinking, okay, that works. Meanwhile, the ethereal beauty Lady Jiang fixed her gaze upon him. The hammer wielder spoke up. Miss Jiang, is that not the windfire monkey? The very beast that escaped us? And summon this boy. Yi Chuan scratched his head, feigning innocence. I know nothing. I was just passing by and boom, it was already napping there. The girl demanded his name. Yi Chuan realized she wanted a scapegoat, and no explanation would suffice. He began, my name is Yi Chuan, and let me explain, but she cut him off abruptly, inviting him to join the Nine Heavens Alliance. Her charm was palpable, a subtle seduction. Yet amidst the tension, a mysterious figure watched him from the shadows of the city. The power balance was shifting. The Shay Alliance, the Thunder Alliance, and now the Nine Heavens Alliance. Once again, fate had entangled him with the major powers of Qing Chang. The bearded warrior marveled at the beast's corpse. Friend, come and join us. It benefits everyone. You will not regret it. Yi Chuan pondered the serpent woman's fear. If everyone was this shaken, that beast must have been a calamity-class monster. Lady Jiang called out again, her voice sweet yet firm. They needed his strength to hunt the legendary Flaming Blade King. Yi Chuan blinked. Who is that? I have no idea. She paused, bewildered. How could a warrior not know a legend? She explained with reverence. He is a true monarch. One of the few creatures to break the mortal shackles and ascend to king rank. Yichuan nodded. That is impressive. But what is the loot? The masked cultivator, looking like a discount ninja, scoffed. Girl, why bother? This ignorant brat knows nothing. Defeating a king-level expert grants you their title and realm. This is not something trash can touch. Yichuan's eyes lit up. Wait. Does that mean I can skyrocket my cultivation overnight? Fine, he said. I pledge myself to the Nine Heavens Alliance. She stepped closer, cheeks flushed. Excellent. We are one step closer to destiny. The bandana wearer smirked, thinking the kid was a naive fool. Meanwhile, the elder produced a skinning knife. Yichuan asked about their plan. Yes, she confirmed. To survive the Flaming Blade King's domain, we need fire-resistant armor. This beast's hide is the only material that can withstand the heat. We lost it earlier, but fate returned it. Relax, Yichuan interjected, stepping forward. Harvesting materials is my specialty. He noticed her flush. Why was she so red? Is this some weird fetish? She stammered, asking if he was skilled. Skilled, lady, I'm a professional. He leapt onto the carcass blade, flashing like quicksilver. In a blur of motion, the massive beast was dismantled, leaving the skin perfectly intact. The warrior gasped. Damn, that is god-tier technique. Lady Jiang stared, completely stunned by his hidden talent. Wasting no time, the group pushed forward into the dense forest again. The bearded warrior declared, Jiang, with this skin we will forge the ultimate armor. Victory is within our grasp. This time, we will wipe out the competition and seize the king's inheritance for ourselves. But suddenly shadows lengthened. A trio blocked their path, led by an older man bearing the lion crest on his chest. Jiang froze. She recognized them instantly. The Lion Thunder Alliance. The scarred man stepped forward with a sinister grin. Miss Jiang. Surely you intend to share that monkey skin with your seniors. She realized immediately they had been stalked the entire time. The man drew his blade, the steel glinting cold. She is sharper than she looks, he sneered. Then you know the consequences of refusal. The bearded warrior raised his hammer. Bold words, but my hammer shows no mercy. Suddenly, the discount ninja intervened. Everyone calm down, give them the skin, we can call for reinforcements later. Something about him reeked of deceit. The musclehead tossed the skin, but Yichuan snatched it from the air. The traitor panicked. Hand it over, kid. Yichuan's eyes turned cold. No chance. I skinned it. I killed it. It belongs to me. The ninja gasped. Jiang looked displeased. The scarred bandit laughed. Your alliance seems fractured. Jiang turned her fury on the ninja. You bastard. You would betray us so easily. He had surrendered their prize instantly. She demanded an explanation, desperation rising. It was the smartest move, he argued. The real traitor is that stubborn kid. But looking at Yichuan's stoic face, no one believed he was the schemer. The bearded warrior stepped forward, aura exploding. That is enough, Jian. Your time in this alliance ends now. John dodges his smirk, revealing the ugly truth. He sold his soul to the Lion Alliance. Since the bounty on their heads is far richer, he sneers at Lord Lei. We must slaughter them all, leave no one breathing. The bearded warrior charges, roaring that he smelled their betrayal from a mile away. But Jian laughs, mocking him. With that sluggish speed you are dreaming? Your hammer will never graze me, Lord. Lei effortlessly tosses his weapon, deflecting the heavy blow, then commands his lackey, kill that brat, and bring me the beast hide. The bearded warrior is paralyzed with shock. His heavy strike was brushed aside like dust. How did he block an attack from a second stage master so easily? Lei declares with cold eyes, I came prepared to wipe you out. Not a single soul leaves this forest alive today. Desperation kicks in. The bearded warrior swings wildly, barely managing to defend against the counterattack with the handle of his massive hammer. Taking advantage of the chaos, Jian draws his blade and rushes Miss Jiang, but he is forced to leap back, dodging her moonblade sequence. His lackeys unleash a barrage of spells to stop her zither arts, and lethal power flies toward her. But her fingers dance across the strings, and a wave of sound energy shatters their attacks in midair. Still, panic grips her heart. Yichuan cannot defeat Jian alone. Jian advances, sneering. Your fatal mistake was hiring trash like him, and now you will pay. Yichuan. Miss Jiang screams in terror. But in that split second, Yichuan unleashes a terrifying demonic aura. Jian freezes in pure fear. Blood Shadow Level 3. Activated. Yichuan slashes through Jian's hand, blood spraying before using Shadow Step to vanish into thin air. Jian spins around, roaring, that trash won't escape, but suddenly Yichuan materializes, using the beast hide as an impenetrable shield. Jian's blade bounces off harmlessly, and instantly his leg is sliced open. He collapses, screaming in agony. You bastard, you are fighting dirty. Yichuan steps in, gripping Jian's face with an iron clutch. There is nowhere left to run. Miss Jiang watches in disbelief. How can a mere kid in the lower realms dominate Jian like this? His combat profession must be god tier. Regaining her focus, she strums a lethal chord, crushing the two lackeys, then cries out Yi Chuan. Yi Chuan glances over the bearded warrior as being decimated by Lord Lei. Lightning surges through Lei's weapon, electrocuting the big man. Yi Chuan realizes the grim truth. He must kill the leader first. That is the only path to victory. The bearded warrior drops to his knees, defeated. Lei looms over him, scoffing. The gap between our realms is like heaven and earth. You never stood a chance inside my thunderweb domain. Your body will paralyze, and then you die. Goodbye. But suddenly, Yi Chuan ghosts behind him, his voice cold as ice. Lord Lei spins around and is struck by the blood moon technique. An illusion grips him. He sees himself screaming like a slaughtered pig. Yi Chuan grips his arm tight. What is this sorcery? Lei bites his own tongue, using the pain to snap awake just in time to block the follow-up strike. Now true horror fills Lei's eyes. The only way this brat could affect his mind is with a god-level spirit ability. This kid from the 9 heavens is a calamity in the making. He cannot be allowed to live. The bearded warrior screams, Yi Chuan, run, you cannot win this. The realms are too far apart. Lei roars, launching a counterattack. There is no escape. He kicks Yi Chuan squarely in the chest, sending him flying like a rag doll. Lei smirks. With my cultivation, that kick shattered your heart. But Yi Chuan lies on the ground and a chilling smile spreads across his face. The bearded warrior's eyes widen. He thinks the kid sacrificed his life to buy him a single second. Hammer aura explodes. He charges, vowing to make that death count, unleashing a mountain-crushing smash. But Lei simply counters with a bolt of lightning, and the warrior falls again, utterly useless. Lei approaches casually. The bearded warrior gasps a warning. You will regret this. You know exactly where Miss Jiang comes from. You can kill me. But if you touch a hair on her head, the entire alliance will hunt you to the ends of the earth. Lei throws his head back and laughs. Those trash heaps cannot compare to the Lion Alliance, and they won't kill Miss Jiang. It will be far too much fun keeping her around as a pet. The warrior screams, over my dead body. Suddenly, another attack slams into Lei from behind, landing perfectly clean. Yi Chuan has unleashed Falling Star. The impact is devastating, completely shattering Lei's spirit armor. The bearded warrior is dumbfounded. Lei is reeling, devastated, unable to comprehend what kind of cursed technique could break his defense. Yi Chuan wipes blood from his lip, celebrating. That expensive armor he bought for 150,000 gold saved him. Without it, that kick would have sent him to the afterlife. He chuckles darkly, idiot. I played dead just to catch you off guard while you were distracted. The bearded warrior stares in awe. Yi Chuan may look simple, but his combat instincts and battle sense are light years beyond his cultivation realm. Only by feigning death could he create the opening for that kill shot, and he executed it perfectly. Lord Lei realizes he has lost the upper hand. I will remember this, you bastard, he snarls before escaping through the trees. Against all odds, the protagonist has driven off 2 powerful masters. They survived, though everyone is battered and bruised. The bearded warrior shakes his head in disbelief. He actually made him run away. The adrenaline fades and Yi Chuan collapses. The warrior rushes to catch him as Miss Jiang runs over, panic in her voice. Are you both all right? But the bearded warrior answers solemnly. Miss Jiang, you truly have an incredible eye for talent. This kid saved me at the critical moment and even drove off that monster. He looks down at the unconscious Yi Chuan and shouts, Brother, I owe you my life. Miss Jiang slaps his arm, snapping, Stop yelling like an idiot, but inside her heart is pounding. How did this boy force a monster they couldn't defeat to flee in terror? Especially when he is still in the early ranks and has barely awakened his powers. At that moment, a hand twitches in the dirt. It is Jian. Pretending to be unconscious, listening to everything. The warhammer crashes down, sealing his fate. Now judgment falls on you. He babbles every pathetic excuse in the book. My wife is pregnant, my mother is sick, my grandmother is dying, my unborn child needs a father. He has a silver tongue, but the bearded warrior is not moved. Do not worry about her. I will take very good care of your wife every single night. Jian screams in despair as the darkness takes him. With the trash taken out, the warrior warns Miss Jiang. We must vanish before more enemies descend. But she remains ice cold. Relax. The signal flare is already in the sky. Our alliance reinforcements are moments away. She tosses 2 high-grade recovery pills to the boys like candy. Yi Chuan's eyes widen. 50,000 credits each. This alliance is filthy rich. As the medicinal energy heals them, Yi Chuan rubs his chest. That kick from earlier. It was a wake-up call. He makes an insane request. Miss Jiang, use your sonic arts on me. She blinks, confused. You want me to blast you with sound waves? For fun. He nods with burning determination. Shadow Step is a scroll skill. It can only be mastered through the fires of combat. This is his only lifeline. If he faces a true expert without mastering it, he is a dead man walking. Jiang hesitates, her expression serious. You helped me, but listen. My cultivation realm crushes yours. One slip up, and I will accidentally kill you. He takes his stance, fear absent from his eyes. Very well. The bearded warrior watches in disbelief. This kid is an absolute monster. He just crawled out of hell's door and now he wants to spar with a superior master. Against trash, she uses 3 waves. But for Yan, she unleashes her brilliance. Countless notes manifest like falling stars. The sonic barrage floods the air. He activates Shadow Step, flickering like a ghost. Moving like a certain shadow monarch, he grins. Harder, I can take more. Her eyebrow twitches. You dare underestimate my specialty. Let us see you dodge this. 5, 6, 7. 10 deadly notes scream toward him. He weaves past one, slips between 2, rolls under the danger. She summons her Zither bow and unleashes a storm. The bearded warrior drops his jaw. She is taking this way too seriously. But Yichuan enters the zone. 13, 14, 18, 19. He is dancing on the blade's edge. A sonic blade catches his blind spot. The impact throws him back, keeping her out of reach. But a wild smile spreads across his face. This power, it is intoxicating. Ding. The system chimes. Shadow Step has evolved to level 2. Speed increased by 40%. Jiang winds up for a finisher, but the warrior intervenes. Stop. Our people are here. The alliance members bow, sweating apologies. Jiang waves her hand. Enough. The trouble is over. We move out. The warrior hauls the beast's severed leg. Wait, zoom in right there. Where did her stockings go? Hey artist. Do not think I missed that glitch. Yichuan stops. You guys go ahead. I have unfinished business to attend to. Jiang nods, but her eyes show concern. Watch your back. And when you are done, come to the 9 Heavens Alliance. I have a special reward waiting for you. He waves and vanishes into the forest shadows. Searching. Searching. Found it. The golden spider torso gleams in the grass. He cackles like a villain. My golden armor was scrap metal anyway. Selling these materials will buy me a legendary set. He expected the Snake Queen to seek revenge. Instead, he returns to a nightmare. The door creaks open. Ruin. Total destruction. The loot bag thuds to the floor. Impossible. My father is a powerhouse. Who could possibly do this? He spots the shattered family photos. Lo Xing. That bastard took them. The scene cuts to the Qingchang district of wealth. A guard steps forward. Halt. Private territory. Yuan does not slow down. He explodes with killing intent. Move or die. The guards scramble in terror. Meanwhile, at a luxury pool, Jinglong sips wine while the sun gleams off a massive sword. He smirks. Once I find Yichuan, I will end his miserable life. Boom. A steel door flies off its hinges and crushes him flat. He hits the deck, coughing up mouthfuls of blood. What the hell? Was that a bomb? Lu Jing rises, veins popping. Who dares? Then he sees him. Yichuan stands in the dust, radiating pure, unadulterated fury. Jing sneers. Yichuan, I sent men to kill you, but they disappeared. Was that you? Shut your mouth. Where are my parents? Xing laughs a cruel, ugly sound. When the child sins, the parents pay the price. And now I will extract that price from your flesh as well. Something is wrong. Jinglong recalls his father returning earlier. He looked terrified. There is a puppet master behind this. Yuan steps forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. My parents are my reverse scale. You touched them. Now you die. Jing opens his mouth to mock him. Bam! A fist connects with his face. He flies into the wall. His father gasps. This aura. It belongs to a higher realm. How is this possible? No matter. I advanced my cultivation recently. Suppressing a brat like this will be child's play. He activates his earth armor technique. You possess a death wish, boy. Okay, let us be real. That armor is hideous. Stone armor tanks his agility but boosts defense by 40%. Meanwhile, Jinglong is still pinned. Bro, do you not even lift? It is just a door. He roars. You forced my hand. Now witness your doom. Xing throws a punch with the weight of a mountain. Yichuan analyzes the attack. Shadow Step activates. He vanishes, reappearing instantly behind his prey, aiming a lethal chop at the neck. But the defense is impenetrable. Stone meets flesh, and a heavy counterkick sends him crashing into the earth. Xing looms over him, sneering. Foolish brat. You must learn your place. Some mountains cannot be climbed. My defense is absolute. One strike will end you. Yet Yichuan rises. His passive trait, Pig Slayer, negates 65% of the damage. The world forgets that a hunter also needs armor. Xing freezes. That was a full-force blow to an unguarded chest. Impossible. How is he standing? Yi Chuan's aura flares. If the blade cannot cut the stone, then blunt force will shatter it. Sing opens his arms, mocking him. Go ahead, smash your flesh against my rock, but terror dawns, he just walked into the trap. Yi Chuan steps in. A devastating hook digs into the stomach. The Pig Slayer bonus activates. Damage amplified by 500%. The stone armor disintegrates. Sing screams, is your fist a cannon? But the assault has only begun. A bone-crushing uppercut shatters the jaw. Teeth fly like shrapnel. Skill Blood Moon descends. The prey is paralyzed by pure fear. Yi Chuan unleashes a hurricane of blows, roaring. Where are my parents? Watching this, Jinglong trembles in horror. His father is at death's door. He wants to intervene, but his spirit is crushed. His legs refuse to obey. One step means death. The Blood Moon's killing intent pins him down. All he can do is wail, please spare him. Yi Chuan's fist hovers. Speak or die. Sing finally cracks. I went to your house for the debt, just for the money. But I wasn't alone. 3 men in black robes were already there, their aura. I don't know who they were. Liar, Yi Chuan snarls. But the fear in Sing's eyes is real. I swear, your father was fighting them. It was chaos. Flashback. The debt collector arrives. Yi Chuan's father confronts the intruders. One of the robed figures merely glances at Sing. Instant unconsciousness, a power gap too wide to measure. Back in the present, Yi Chuan falters. A mere look, that defies logic. Sing coughs up blood, reaching into his robe. Wait. They left this behind. A letter. For you. Yi Chuan unfolds the paper. His father's voice echoes in his mind. Yi Chuan, we only ever wanted a peaceful life for you. But the moment you saw the world as pigs, we knew fate had found us. To protect you, we must vanish. Your path is yours alone now. We have faith in you. You were always brilliant. But listen closely. Do not seek us out. You are still too weak. Against them, you are an ant before dragons. Just live freely, my son. That is our only wish. Tears stain the paper. His heart shatters. There is no mistake, this handwriting belongs to the man who raised him. In the memory, the father comforts the mother. Fear not. If he is destined for the peak, he will carve his own way to the heavens. I will pave the foundation. If he truly reaches the summit of strength, our paths will cross again. The memory fades. Clutching the letter, Yi Chuan turns his back on the carnage, walking into the unknown. Jinglong watches him leave, eyes burning with hate. I will kill him, Sing slaps his son. Idiot, if I lost you are nothing but fodder. But this isn't over. Sing's eyes darken. I will handle this. He dials a number. It's time to call the main branch. The family tree has deep roots. Cousin Sing gasps, I need backup. A monster nearly ended my life today. A cold voice responds. Who dares touch my kin? Sing grits his teeth. A lunatic. The pig slayer Yi Chuan. Silence. Then a dark, amused chuckle. A pig slayer. Interesting. Very well. We shall crush this insect together. Back in the empty silence of his home, Yi Chuan restores his parents' portrait. I don't know where you are, but I will search the ends of the earth. He recalls the debt collector's fear. A glance that knocks out a warrior. That is power beyond the mortal realm. Why are my parents tangled with such monsters? To find answers, I need power. His eyes sharpen. The Nine Heavens Alliance is my only option. He arrives at the Ironheart Forge. The burly smith grins. Oi kid, the blade still holding up. It serves, Yi Chuan replies, dumping his loot. The massive golden spider legs hit the floor with a heavy clang. The smith's eyes bulge. By the gods! Tell me my eyes deceive me. Yi Chuan nods. Legs of the golden poison spider. Heavenly treasures, the smith trembles with excitement. With materials of this tier, I can awaken your blade's true potential. Listen, the smith explains, serious now. This beast holds 2 affinities, virulent poison and indestructible gold. I can refine one into an artifact spirit. Yi Chuan tilts his head. Why not both? The smith bursts into laughter. Keep dreaming, brat. Extracting even one attribute is a miracle. Refining is a war of energies. Add a second and the first shatters. Don't be greedy. Choose your path, poison or gold. Yi Chuan doesn't hesitate. Gold. It sells for a higher price. The smith smirks. Ha, you're sharper than you look, kid. The materials hit the furnace. Flames roar to life. The gold liquefies, flowing like liquid sunlight over the steel. The hammer sings a song of creation. Minutes later, the blade hums, radiating a blinding golden aura. The smith wipes his brow. Kid, the heavens are smiling on you today. For anyone else, this masterpiece would command a ransom of 500,000 coins. But today, it is yours for free. Yi Chuan narrowed his eyes, sensing a trap. Free, I do not understand your generosity. but I will accept it with gratitude. As the weight of the steel settled in his grip, heavy as a mountain, he turned to the smith. Master, the blade's aura is majestic, but tell me, what hidden power lies within? Taihan grinned, his tusks glinting. It is a stacking enchantment. With every strike, energy gathers. Once the cycle completes, the gold magic unleashes a devastating critical hit. Critical hits. A predator's smile touched Yi Chuan's lips. Magnificent. With his system's inherent talents, layering a crit upon a crit would create a catastrophic multiplier. His knuckles whitened as he gripped the hilt, unleashing a flurry of strikes. He expected an explosion of power, yet silence reigned. Fatigue washed over him instantly, his stamina drained to the dregs. Suddenly, the system window flashed azure before his eyes. Enchantment. Successful. The logic was brutal. After 9 strikes, the 10th guarantees 200% damage. The faster his combo, the more devastating the final blow. He bowed respectfully to the beastman. Master, for this favor I am in your debt. Should you ever require my blade, I shall not refuse. The boar waved a dismissal hoof. Enough with the sentiment, kid. Get out of here. My work is done. Yi Chuan frowned as he walked away. Asterisk. Is this creature benevolent or scheming? Asterisk. Asterisk. In this dog-eat-dog world, trust is a luxury I cannot afford. Asterisk. Moments later, he stood before the towering gates of the Nine Heavens Alliance. A familiar figure blocked his path. The academy principal blinked in surprise. Yi Chuan. What business does a student like you have in a place of such power? Yi Chuan deflected the question with one of his own. The principal sighed, adjusting his robes. I am here to recommend our elite students. The Alliance is the peak of the martial world. Any disciple accepted here brings eternal glory to our academy. Yi Chuan nodded slowly. That sounds impressive. The old man shook his head pitiably. Unfortunately, I cannot recommend times you asterisk. Without a combat profession, you are invisible to them. Admissions are tighter than ever this year. Even the prodigy Lin Guan was turned away despite her dazzling talent. The Alliance's standards have reached the heavens. So I ask again, why are you here? Yi Chuan kept his expression flat. Just using their mountain gravity for weight training, sir. The principal eyed him critically. I see. It seems you have hit the absolute ceiling of your potential. A pity. Forget the path of the warrior. Focus on raising your swine. It is where you belong. Yi Chuan smirked internally. You are right. Slaughtering pigs is indeed lucrative for me. As Yi Chuan brushed past him to leave a ripple of spiritual pressure caused the principal to freeze. The air itself seemed to vibrate. He spun around. Boy, what is your current cultivation realm? Yi Chuan shrugged casually. Approaching the Lake Ascent rank, I believe. The old man's jaw dropped. Lake Ascent. You have transcended the beginner realm entirely. Impossible. Even Lin Guan, our brightest star, is merely an apprentice. For a lifestyle class, to cultivate at such breakneck speed, it defies the laws of nature. Asterisk. He would have needed to slaughter 100,000 beasts to reach that level. This kid is a monster. Asterisk. As Yi Chuan turned to leave, the principal shouted, Wait, join the school tournament. Yi Chuan paused, feigning ignorance. The tournament. Is that not reserved exclusively for the elite combat classes? Exceptions can be made for power like yours. The principal's eyes gleamed with desperation. A slot has suddenly opened up. Our top fighter, Jing Long, suffered a mysterious facial injury and cannot compete. Yi Chuan recalled the heavy door he had slammed into someone's face earlier. Asterisk. That explained it. Asterisk. Lin Guan carries our hope for the championship, the principal continued rapidly. But we need strength for the team battle to secure our standing. If you support her, we might salvage the academy's reputation. Right now, we are the laughingstock of the district. We barely scrape by with participation trophies. Yi Chuan wiped a speck of dust from his face, unimpressed. And this concerns me. Why? The principal clamped a hand on his shoulder. Kid, help me here, and I will grant you one request. Anything within my power. Yi Chuan calculated instantly. I want 500,000 coins. The principal didn't hesitate. Done. Provided you place in the top 3. Asterisk top 3. With our ragtag team, that is a fantasy. I will never have to pay a dime. Asterisk. I also require a spatial storage artifact, Yi Chuan added. The principal scoffed. You are gluttonous. Those are high-tier treasures. Forget it then. Yi Chuan turned his back. I have pigs to feed. Panic seized the principal. He grabbed Yi Chuan's arm. Wait, fine. Top 3. Achieve that, and the artifact is yours, along with the money. Yi Chuan smiled coldly. Pleasure doing business. As the principal walked away, chuckling at his own cleverness, Yi Chuan approached the alliance gate. A hulking guard blocked him. Lost little boy. Yi Chuan looked him in the eye. My name is Yi Chuan. I am here for Miss Jiang. The guard roared with laughter. You, a date with the Lady Jiang. Suddenly, the heavy gates groaned open. A commanding voice cut through the air. I have been waiting for him. Jiang stepped out radiant and imposing. She looped her arm through Yi Chuan's possessively. Come, Yi Chuan. Let me give you the grand tour. The guard stood frozen jaw, unhinged as they passed. Inside the courtyard, Jiang gestured elegantly. The south tower houses the living quarters. North is for services. The east hall is for dining. The northwest and west wings are dedicated combat zones. This infrastructure is world-class, Yi Chuan admitted. Hurry now, she whispered before. Suddenly, a massive hand crushed down on Yi Chuan's shoulder. A bearded giant loomed over them, grinning wildly. There you are. I will take the boy to the North Wing's special massage parlors. Asterisk. Smack times Jiang delivered a thunderous slap to the giant's face. Do not corrupt him with your filth. Her jealousy flared like a beacon. Rubbing his stinging cheek, the bearded warrior retreated, grumbling. Women, they just do not understand the needs of a warrior. They arrived at the North Tower, which had transformed into a fortress of gleaming, futuristic modernity. A receptionist, sharp in her suit, stepped forward to ask if Miss Jiang had personally escorted this guest. Jiang wasted no breath, ordering her to immediately issue a black card for the young man. The receptionist froze, stammering that the black card represented the absolute zenith of authority. Could they really grant such power to a mere newcomer? But under Jiang's icy command, she obeyed. Moments later, Ye Chuan's data was processed. He was now an elite enforcer of the Nine Heavens Alliance. Ye Chuan stared at the obsidian card, completely bewildered. Why on earth am I receiving an honor like this? Jiang smiled, explaining rank relies on contribution points. You would typically need over 1,000 to even dream of this status. She paused. It is indeed a rarity. However, she continued, since I recruited you personally and your valor turned the tide of that last battle, I decided the rules could be bent. You earned it. She pressed herself against him, whispering excitement about his potential. Yet to Ye Chuan's cursed eyes, her sultry expression was overlaid with the visage of a swine, instantly shattering the allure. Suddenly, the bearded warrior cut through the tension. Miss Jiang, I must speak with you urgently. She feigned shyness while the protagonist flushed crimson. But honestly, how romantic can it be when your vision renders the entire world as livestock? I suppose after a while one simply becomes numb to the absurdity of it all. The bearded veteran tossed a mountain of treasures toward Ye Chuan. Behold, rewards, handpicked by Miss Jiang herself, luxuries far beyond what any normal recruit would ever see, Ye. Ye Chuan felt the weight of the moment, offering a stiff, awkward word of gratitude. She promised to guide him to his quarters, but they had wandered into the nether zone. Strange. There wasn't the residential sector in the south. Yet here lay a mystical hot spring, steaming with spiritual energy. You took heavy damage in the last clash, didn't you? She purred. Why not let the waters heal you? Conveniently, she seemed all too prepared to join him. Yi Chuan, completely unfazed by her advances, stripped off his shirt and descended into the soothing embrace of the spring. Her playful demeanor vanished. She drifted closer, eyes narrowing at fresh scars. These wounds are new. What kind of hell did you walk through last night? He submerged himself to the chin, evasive as a shadow. Just a minor accident, nothing that requires your concern. But Jiang refused to let it go. I owe you everything, she insisted. Without your blade, we would have been picked clean. The Monkey King would have won, and the bearded fool would be a corpse. Her seduction techniques were falling flat. In Ye Chuan's mind, the best way to thank him would be to maintain a very respectful, very long distance. Open the box, she commanded. Inside lay a cultivation treasure designed to amplify the spring's spiritual potency. He lifted the lid to reveal a mysterious pitch-black pill. Consume it, she urged. It will forge your body into steel, making you faster, tougher, superior. He stared at it blankly, while her internal monologue ran wild. That description sounded suspiciously like an aphrodisiac for swine. Wait, what game is she playing? She stuck out her tongue playfully. Trust me. Once it hits your system, you will understand everything. Ye Chuan tossed the pill back. Not bad, he muttered. But instantly power surged. The entire chamber erupted in a blinding violet light. His aura exploded outward like a shockwave. What is happening to me? She smiled. That is a supreme pill refined by the Alliance's greatest alchemists. Only one is forged every 6 months. It grants a permanent evolution to your physique, massively amplifying every attribute you possess. Ye Chuan was thunderstruck. The system pinged 20 points added to every stat, so it wasn't a love potion after all. As the power settled, he unfurled a scroll. The Golden Bell passive skill activated an eternal shield capable of nullifying one fatal strike. Once broken, it would need 12 hours to recharge. The scroll dissolved into light, etching glowing ancient inscriptions across his skin. Jiang, having swapped her pink attire for pristine white, spoke softly. Since your golden armor was shattered in our defense, consider this your reparation. Ye Chuan felt a wave of confusion. This is too much. I have no idea how I can possibly repay such generosity. She struck a pose looking out into the distance. It takes half a month to reforge that armor. But when the time comes, I need you to stand by my side again. A challenge. The flaming blade King Ye Chuan nodded solemnly. But tell me, how many warriors do we have? What are our odds of victory? Currently, she admitted less than 10%. Ye Chuan scoffed. That is suicide. Why even attempt it? Do you all have a death wish? You aren't even the alliance head. She sighed, eyes burning with resolve. Precisely because I am only his daughter. I must lead this myself. I refuse to live an eternity in my father's shadow. That is why I choose the path of greatest resistance. The entire alliance whispers behind my back. They call my existence a tragedy. They say the leader has only one daughter, and that she is incompetent, shameful, unworthy of the throne. Ye Chuan recalled Jia Wan mocking her weakness. Now the picture was clear. Even royalty faces doubt. She looked at him intensely. Are you afraid? He stood tall. My parents taught me that a promise made is a debt to be paid. She squinted, amused. Such a good boy. What a pity. You are still untouched by a woman. She slid closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. If we are marching toward death, perhaps you shouldn't die with regrets. He shoved her aside, cold as ice. I guarantee you today is not the day I perish. I have far too much left to accomplish. She stood there, paralyzed by the rejection. Ye Chuan threw open the door, only to find the bearded veteran eavesdropping right outside. Jiang snapped Uncle Qian. What are you doing? The man flushed, stammering. Nothing at all. I just needed the spring to heal my back. Ye Chuan stopped him, eyes gleaming with intent. Wait, uncle. I have a favor. Be my sparring partner. Now. Qian's eyes lit up with martial fervor, a grin spreading across his face. That was a brilliant idea. They would temper their steel together and ascend to new heights of power. Watching him depart, Jiang trembled with excitement. She had finally placed the perfect wager. This boy was not just a genius. He was a dragon, hiding in the abyss, possessing limitless potential. The scene shifts to the eastern training grounds. Ye Chuan stood facing Qian. He knew that only by shattering his limits could he uncover the truth. Only strength would allow him to see his parents again. He whispered to the wind, asking them to wait just a little longer. Drawing his enchanted blade, he warned Qian that he would not hold back. Qian gripped his massive hammer, grinning. Perfect. He would not show mercy either. Their gazes locked, and for 9 days, the world blurred into a frenzy of violence. Jiang watched from the sidelines, utterly stunned. They fought like men possessed by demons. Yet she realized these were warriors she could stake her life on. Suddenly, Ye Chuan launched a devastating cutting sequence. Qian raised his guard, but realized too late that he needed more speed. Under the immense pressure, his spiritual weapon began to bend. Spotting an opening, Qian swung from the flank, but Ye Chuan leapt skyward, activating the blessed falling star technique. They collided in mid-air with earth-shaking force. The hammer cracked Ye Chuan's golden bell defense, but the young warrior pressed forward. With a thunderous strike, his blade slammed down, nearly shattering Qian's weapon in two. This duel eclipsed even the forest battle in intensity. The entire alliance watched in shock. A newcomer was fighting toe-to-toe with their strongest vanguard. How was such power possible? Qian attempted to block, but the force was too great. With a sickening crunch, his beloved hammer finally shattered completely. Qian burst into laughter, waving his hand. Enough. He could not fight without a weapon. Ye Chuan apologized, admitting with a heavy sigh that his wallet was currently empty. He could not pay for the damages. Just then, Jiang called out, beckoning them to eat. As she strutted over, her commanding presence made everyone stare. Qian muttered to himself. His strongest spiritual weapon had been destroyed. There was something terrifyingly abnormal about this kid. Ye Chuan wondered what feast she had prepared. But more importantly, he checked his status. His attributes had all skyrocketed to 140. His weapon now dealt a critical strike on every 9th hit for 220% damage. Shadow Step had evolved to level 3 boosting speed by 50%. The burly veteran complained to Jiang. His weapon was scrap metal because of her recruit. How was he supposed to fight now? She rolled her eyes, telling him to stop whining like a child. He could just go to the guild warehouse and grab a replacement. Whatever worked. The priority now was devouring this magnificent feast. They began eating like starving wolves, while Jiang watched with gleaming eyes. The boy was growing stronger at a terrifying rate. With him, they might actually stand a chance in the coming war. Between bites, Ye Chuan announced that he would be departing tomorrow. Both his companions paused, asking where he was going and what he planned to do. He tapped his chest, declaring he had made a promise to the school principal to participate in a tournament. He would return soon, so there was no need to worry. Qian grabbed the kid's arm. He better come back quickly. After all this training, he was starting to actually like the brat. He suggested Yichuan skip the trip to keep training, but Jiang smacked him on the head, scolding him for making Yichuan uncomfortable. He had already made his decision, and that was final. She held Yichuan's gaze, telling him to be careful out there. She was looking forward to his triumphant return. With that, he left the Alliance headquarters. Qian turned to Miss Zheng. That kid possessed strength that defied logic. If they took him to that forbidden place, what did she think would happen? She replied grimly. If they returned alive from this current mission, he would be worthy of facing the darkness of that place. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the academy. A crowd had gathered. A girl with an air of arrogance turned, announcing that she had arrived. It was Su Ling, the childhood friend. Honestly, after seeing so many powerful women, she had completely lost her charm. She glanced to the side and froze. Yichuan was standing there. Her thoughts raced. Why was this trash here? Her lackey mocked him, sneering that Yichuan was using cheap tricks to get close to Sister Ling again. Yichuan punched the wall, cracking the stone, and told her to get out of his way. She jumped back in shock, calling him a clown who was desperate for attention. But the crowd stared in silence at the destruction his fist had caused. The lackey ran to Su Ling, whining that he was scary. Su Ling stepped forward, sighing. How many times did she have to tell him to stop trying to stand out around her? It was useless. He would never be on her level. Yichuan ignored her, slamming his energy into the ground and shattering the pavement. With eyes full of boredom, he stated that the principal had asked him to join the tournament. This had nothing to do with her. Su Ling stood stunned. The principal had invited him. How could he know a useless loser like Yichuan? Had the old man gone crazy? She mocked him with an ancient saying. It was ridiculous for a dim firefly to try and shine next to the bright moon. Suddenly, the principal appeared, chuckling. He told the young girl to calm down. He had indeed invited Mr. Yichuan. He requested that they fight together and put aside their petty rivalry for the glory of the school. She snapped that having such a filthy ally was no honor. The principal slyly whispered that the more stupid things Yichuan did, the better she would look by comparison. Everyone would be impressed by her brilliance alone. She paused, then scoffed in agreement. Since Brother Jinglong was injured, she had no choice. She warned Yichuan not to get in her way and stormed off. The principal reminded Yichuan of their deal. Only the top 3 would receive the reward. Yichuan nodded. Moments later, they arrived at the arena for the preliminaries. Yichuan completed his registration. The rules were simple. Draw a number and fight the corresponding opponent to the death or surrender. If you claim victory, you hold the ring against the next challenger. Ultimately, the rankings are decided by who remains standing among the final 4. The final round begins now. A crucial rule applies. Disciples from the same academy are forbidden from clashing with one another. One student exhales relieved to avoid the terrifying senior sister Ling Xuan. The principal announces, those defeated get one path to redemption, but a second loss seals your elimination. A plainly dressed girl whispers for everyone to stay calm. Her presence goes unnoticed by the crowd. Ling Xuan, arrogant in her assured victory, sneers at Yichuan. She can't wait to watch him humiliate himself before thousands of eyes. The grand stadium is blinding, lit up like a second sun. The idol host welcomes the masses to this year's legendary assessment. Academies from Qingcheng to Lingyun have gathered. Today, the destiny of countless young cultivators will be forged. The VIP seats are filled with elite masters, but one figure commands attention. Rumor has it, she represents the prestigious Heavenly Treasure Academy. Expectations are sky high. The host's voice booms across the arena. Let the first duel commence. Yichuan the Pig Slayer versus Lu Kai the Shadow Thunder Spear Cultivator. The audience explodes in absolute outrage. Voices roar. Why is a filthy butcher in Arena 4? An elder scoffs. Is this tournament a joke to them? Instructors whisper. Sending a lifestyle profession to a combat tournament. Qingcheng Academy. Must be truly desperate. A female instructor frowns, defending him slightly. Professor Qin shouldn't mock them. He recently poached a genius talent from that very school. Qin laughs dismissively. Academies are always a mix of dragons and fish. Trash and treasure exist side by side. Unlike the elite Yankai school, our poor director is sweating bullets. He prays, Yichuan, please don't shame our ancestors out there. Lu Kai smirks at his opponent. Thanks for the free win, brother. I really needed an easy warm-up. I'll treat you to barbecue after I wipe the floor with you. Yichuan smiles innocently. You're too kind. The referee signals the start. The Shachuan director jeers, asking if Qingcheng has run out of warriors and started recruiting kitchen staff. But then she pauses. Wait. His aura feels strange. Old Changwei chuckles. Indeed. It is not the aura of a mortal. Everyone else is a battle-hardened warrior while he creates food. The principal is on the verge of tears begging Yichuan to survive. Lu Kai unleashes his thunder spear arts. Electricity crackles, dazzling the crowd as he boasts of his power. "I've reached apprentice rank 8, he shouts. "Since this will be easy, let me put on a show for the fans." Yichuan nods. "Wow, cool sparks." The referee grabs Lu Kai's shoulder annoyed. "Stop posing and fight, kid." Lu Kai steadies his stance, apologizing with a smirk. "Don't blink. This will be over in a heartbeat." He thrusts with lethal intent, aiming right for the eyes. Yichuan casually sidesteps. "Be honest. You just tried to kill me. So you deserve this." A single fist connects with the jaw. Boom. Bone shatters teeth, fly like confetti, and his body is buried into the stadium floor. It is over instantly. The referee stammers, "Yichuan wins." The entire stadium freezes in dead silence. The principal gasps, "Did you see that? That is my pig butcher. He is not human, he is a monster. He has no future potential, but right now he can crush anyone." A sentence that is both high praise and a terrible insult. "I already hate this guy." The other masters break into a cold sweat. That wasn't a normal strike. Professor Chin looks thunderstruck. "He is just a butcher. What a waste of talent. If he were a combat class, he would be a king." He replays the scene in his mind. The movement was fluid, effortless, like water flowing around a stone. The spear looked motionless to him. That punch used less than 10% of his strength. This kid is dangerous. The female professor recalls Ling Xuan complaining about a pest named Yichuan. "So this is the annoyance." She scoffs coldly. "History is full of fools trying to defy fate with lifestyle classes. He is just another arrogant idiot." Professor Chin, relax. "He is garbage." "Great. Now I want Yichuan to destroy her entire team just to spite her." Next match. A fire cloud mage from the Xia family versus our boy. The mage enters with flames dancing in his palms, taunting Yichuan. Yichuan just stares fascinated. "How are you not burning yourself? That is incredible." The mage snaps. "Stop acting dumb. You have no concept of the destruction I hold." In the stands, Chongwei laughs. "Old Zhao, the comedy ends here. My student is a rank 9 apprentice with rare magic." Director Zhao replies calmly. "Yichuan is already beyond that level. He left the apprentice realm long ago." "Impossible." Chongwei turns back only to find his student already unconscious on the ground. He didn't even see the blow. Something is fundamentally wrong. How could a Qingcheng student awaken such terrifying power? Meanwhile, Ling Xuan is effortlessly crushing her opponent in the neighboring arena. Director Xiao mutters, "At this pace, Qingcheng Academy might actually secure 2 spots in the top 3. This year, destiny is changing." Ling Guin cast a look of pure contempt, his voice dripping with arrogance. "Yuan, your luck is absurd facing such trash. But you are even luckier that the rules forbid me from ending your miserable life today." Xi Yuan cut in, sharply warning Xiao to hold his celebration. "But focus your eyes on the arena now." Her mage was about to face a truly formidable opponent. The tiny oner skipped into the ring, looking up with wide, innocent eyes. "Big sister, please go easy on me," she chirped. But Lingguan replied with a voice like ice. "Do not expect mercy just because you look like a child." Xiao was baffled by the sight. Is this even allowed? She looks nowhere near 18. Xi Wen's expression turned grim as she corrected him. "I guarantee she is of age. Underestimate Wanner at your own peril. That girl stands at the peak as one of this year's absolute prodigies." The arrogant girl stared straight ahead with a smirk.